Now, Brussels is marking 1 year since its worst ever terror attack that left 32 people dead. These are live pictures from the Belgian capital now, where a minute of silence has been held at the capital's airport. It was attended by Prime Minister Charles Michel and King Philippe. Last year, a series of explosions hit the Zaventem airport and Maelbeek metro stations in the city center. Daesh claimed responsibility for those bombings. Well, Jack Parrock is following the anniversary in Brussels. He joins me now live from the Belgian capital. Jack, you covered these events 12 months ago. Tell us how much life has actually changed in Belgium since these attacks.
Indeed. So I think there's a real sense of reflection here for everybody that was reporting on or living in the city when those attacks happened. I think really the major thing that's happened is the continued military and police armed presence on the streets of Brussels. That is something that people have become very accustomed to here. But also there's been a series of different measures brought in by the Belgian government and EU-wide to try to prevent any future attacks. And they include things like a passenger name record, EU-wide, where it's a database where the European Union member states can exchange information of who's flying in and out of the European Union. They're trying to track people that are in Europe who are going to places like Syria and Iraq, potentially to be trained or to be radicalized by Daesh, the so-called Islamic State group. So that's one of the major things that happened. But what's today's being used for is obviously to commemorate the 32 people who've died. And also a number of groups have been using it to try and flag up some of the plight of the victims and some of their families who are still fighting for insurance or compensation claims as well.
I've seen that as well, Jack, and that they were promised by the Belgian government, the immediate aftermath of the attacks, that there would be much attention paid to the victims and their recovery. Is that being done?
Well, the Belgian government insists that it's continuing to try to process the support that they want to give to the victims, and there has been a large amount of money set aside, but a lot of people who live and work in Belgium regularly decry the difficulties of Belgian bureaucracy and the number of different options that there are and different structures of the local authorities and federal authorities. And there are a number of people who've had to shell out for large amounts of money on their own personal health insurances as victims of these attacks. And so that's something that's really taken hold today, a big discussion about that and about what's going on. But the events that are taking place that happened at the airport at the exact time that the two explosions hit there and the exact time, which is just maybe 5 minutes ago, that hit the Maelbeek metro station, they're obviously still being used to think about those who died in the terror attacks.
Indeed. And Jack, as you alluded to earlier, there had been so much scrutiny over apparent failures to coordinate intelligence between European and non-EU countries after these attacks. So tell us more about what's been done to rectify that. And is Belgium overall a safer country today because of it?
very difficult to judge whether it's a safer country or not. I spoke to a security expert yesterday, actually, Andrea, who said to me that you can only say that the measures you're putting in are successful while you are not in the midst of a terror attack. So if a new one were to hit, then the measures that were put in place would have been called unsuccessful. One of the big problems in Belgium is the quantity of police officers, and the Belgian government has said that they wanted to recruit 1,000 new police officers to the streets. And they've only managed to do a fraction of that at the moment, and to train them fully, obviously, so that they can obviously begin investigating different aspects of their counter-terror operations. So at the moment, it's difficult to say whether it's going to be successful, because a year is actually not a very long time to implement large, wide-scale security measures. But they have started putting those measures in place.
Okay, Jack Parrock joining us there from Brussels, where those ceremonies are underway. Thanks so much for that.